first of all, I think it's amazing that you during the pandemic. I mean, I think you so had a pass to not do anything. Do you know what I mean? You're a comic,
We
but
all do. We all did, but imagine the depression. Right.
yeah,
Imagine, and there were comics who didn't, and they were super depressed. And I was like, "Do you want to set on my Sunday show?" And they're like, "It's not real." And I'm like, it's arguably as real as doing Victorville, a Best Western in Minot, North Dakota. It's arguably as real as any weird gig you've ever done in Huntington, Alabama, Birmingham, whatever.
I really enjoyed it. I really liked it, and part of what I liked about it, I'm a writing teacher, and so since this has happened, everything's Zoom, and I find that there's a certain intimacy to Zoom that's kind of cool,
Oh, for sure.
And when I came and watched your Zoom comedy show, I loved it because I felt so much more a part of, like, because when you go to a comedy club, you're sitting in the audience and then the comics come up and they're all backstage or in the green room or whatever. But I was like, they were hanging out with me. So it had this, I don't know, it had for me as an audience, I really liked the vibe.
Yeah, it definitely has a really, because everybody's in their own box. One of the things I liked about it was that everybody's name was on the screen, and I could be
Yes.
like, "Hey Ben, how's it going today?" And he'd be like, "It's going pretty good, Jackie." And so, I mean,
Thanks for
super.
asking, Jackie.
Yeah, exactly. And so everybody's been super nice, and you kind of got to know people a little bit. I'd have to meet them again in real life again to get to really know them. But it was huge, right? It was
80 people on. There was a lot of people on when I was there. It was
right. I
really
had
awesome.
anywhere, it was usually around 25, 30, up to about 120.
Yeah.
And one time Maria Bamford was guest setting and she accidentally posted it publicly, the link. So there were almost 400 people. So I was like, this is great. It's going to affect. But there were also Zoom bombers who were just being jerkweeds. And then we kicked them out because you got that kind of power. That's right. You
Yeah.
got power
Love
when
that
you're the
power.
Zoom
Bye
host.
bye. You're gone.
Exactly. I always make people co-hosts. I like to share the power. That's what I'm about, sharing the power.
Well, I love that you did it. And it was very much like, look, I'm going to do it. You can go and I don't remember if it was Patreon or if it was
Venmo. It was Venmo or
Venmo.
PayPal.
I sent you money. I was like, yeah, damn. Because it was
literally, and the money was just to sort of get rid of the Zoom bombers and to make some money over the
Yeah.
16 months, right? So I would just say $5. And if you don't have $5, just email me and I will send you a link so you can sit in your home and not be sad that we're all trapped inside of our own homes. So it was a nice way to spend an hour and a half,
Yeah, I thought it was really cool. And I think that's just one example of things that came out of the pandemic that were like, first of all, we never thought, oh, gee, when the pandemic comes, what will I do? Right? We weren't prepared for it. And so suddenly you find yourself doing that and creating this whole community and this whole new way to connect and to do comedy. I loved it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really, I liked it, and I will continue to do it because there were people who are very rural who never get stand up, right? They don't
That's
get
such a
they
good
get they
point.
can't come to clubs. Some people are housebound for other reasons, never get to come to clubs. And plus, I was doing so many guest sets, people are like, I've never heard of any of these people. They've barely heard of me, right? So they come to see me and then they get to see a couple more comics that they're like, well, she's hilarious. He's great. What's with this person, that person, right? And then I got to hang out with comics, which is a big part of my social life in life forever.
Yeah. So it's really like a win-win-win-win-win, right?
It's 1,000 wins. There's very little negative to it. The only bad thing was I ended up buying the most expensive Zoom account, $2,000 a year.
What?
Yeah. See, people laugh, and then I tell them the number. They're like, "What? What just happened?" And right, I don't think I got. And then it just renewed.
What? Can we talk to the Zoom people? That doesn't.
I've tried to talk to the Zoom people. They're like, next year. Make sure you cancel it. And I'm like, all right.
Wow.
So it's fine. It means I can have up to 1,000 people and 9 other administrators. Glass half full in the long run. Make lemonade. And I could write it off. So it's
Which is so funny because one of the things that I did during the pandemic is I started something called the Lemonade Party, which
Mhm.
is me doing this free party, turning lemons into lemonade, where I just invite people on for free and I would do 2 writing prompts. And it was just sort of like a little writing, it was community, you know?
right.
And if you can make a $10 donation, great. And if you can't, that's okay too.
Exactly. Right. It's just, and a lot of the younger comics from around the country started coming to the Zoom shows. And then they'd be like, I do stand up. You ever have any extra spots on this Sunday Zoom show? I would love a spot. And I'm like, please, because everybody, I mean, that's the only way. It's the way you get spots in real life is you go and hang out and introduce yourself to the club owner, to the bookers, to the other comics. And so to do it on Zoom, though, they would pay $5 to come and hang out and then tell me that they do stand up. And I was like, please. And then everybody got like $20, right? So it was great when it was just 2 guest sets, but then I started getting lonely. And so I would do like 5 guest sets. And so it'd be $100. But that's fine. Wasn't doing it for the money so much, but and everybody was super generous. There was a guy who always gave 20. And you're like, oh yeah. He's like, it's an hour and a half of my time and your time, and there's 6 comics. $20 seems fair. and he still has a job.
And you spend $7 on a latte. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't, but people do.
And they're only 5. I don't know why you got to exaggerate. What's happening?
Losing it, losing it, losing it, losing it, losing it, losing it, losing it. If you